Imagine traveling back in time, 6,000 years ago, to a world vastly different from our own. A world where humans weren't always at the top of the food chain. Today, we're diving into a story that brings this ancient reality to life. A tale of survival, courage, and community that's etched into the very bones of one remarkable individual. Archaeologists in eastern Bulgaria have unearthed something extraordinary. It's the skeleton of a young man, but this isn't just any prehistoric find. His bones tell a harrowing story of a face-to-face encounter with one of antiquity's most fearsome predators, a lion. Yes, you heard that right. Lions roamed Europe back then, and this man came terrifyingly close to one. The discovery was made at a Neolithic settlement near the modern-day town of Provadia. This site is already famous for being what many believe is the oldest town in Europe, a hub of salt production and trade. The people who lived here were part of the Varna culture, known for their sophisticated society and stunning gold artifacts. But life wasn't just about wealth and craftsmanship. It was also about daily survival against the raw forces of nature. So let's look at the evidence. The skeleton, belonging to a man in his late 20s or early 30s, shows multiple, severe injuries. We're talking deep puncture marks and fractures, particularly on his arms and legs. A team of bioarchaeologists, led by Dr. Vladimir Slavchev, meticulously examined these wounds. Their conclusion was stunning. The pattern of the injuries, their size, and their placement are a textbook match for an attack by a large cat. Given the location and time period, the prime suspect is the now extinct European cave lion. Picture the scene. This young man, maybe out hunting or herding, is suddenly ambushed. The lion, a powerhouse of muscle and claw, goes for him. He fights back, using his arms to shield his face and torso. The lion's teeth sink into his flesh, crushing bone. It's a brutal life-or-death struggle. The kind of thing we only see in movies, but for him it was terrifyingly real. Now, here's where the story takes an even more incredible turn. He survived. This wasn't a fatal attack, at least not immediately. The archaeologists found clear, undeniable signs of healing around the wounds. The bone had started to regrow, to knit itself back together. This process, called callus formation, doesn't happen overnight. It takes weeks, even months. This means that after the violent encounter, this man lived on. Think about the state he must have been in. He would have been crippled, in excruciating pain, and completely unable to fend for himself. He couldn't hunt, he couldn't farm, he couldn't even walk properly. In a prehistoric society where every individual's labor was crucial for the group's survival, a person with such severe disabilities could have easily been seen as a burden. But that's not what happened. The fact that he lived long enough for his bones to show significant healing tells us something profound about his community. He was cared for. His people didn't abandon him. They must have fed him, tended to his wounds, protected him, and supported him through his long and painful recovery. This is a powerful testament to the social bonds and empathy that existed 6,000 years ago. It challenges the old-fashioned view of prehistoric life as purely survival of the fittest, where the weak were left behind. Instead, it paints a picture of a compassionate society, a community that valued each of its members, even those who couldn't contribute physically. The care he received speaks volumes about their culture and their humanity. His skeleton essentially becomes a fossilized record of prehistoric healthcare. We don't know the exact treatments they used. Maybe they had herbal remedies to fight infection or knowledge of how to set broken bones. But what we know for sure is that they provided dedicated, long-term care. This act of compassion is just as impressive as the golden treasures the Varna culture is famous for. What can we learn from his injuries? The analysis showed severe trauma to his right forearm, likely a defensive wound from trying to block the lion's jaws. His left leg also had massive damage, suggesting the lion tried to drag him down. The sheer force of the bite is evident in the splintered bone fragments. Surviving the initial shock and blood loss would have been a miracle in itself. Surviving the weeks after with the constant threat of infection is even more astonishing. This discovery is one of the most direct pieces of evidence we have for a human-predator interaction of this kind in prehistoric Europe. It's a rare glimpse into the dangers of the Neolithic world. But more than that, it's a story of human resilience. It reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable violence and pain, the instinct to live is powerful. And it shows us that the bonds of community, the instinct to care for one another, are just as ancient and just as fundamental to our species. So, the next time you think about prehistory, don't just picture primitive people struggling for existence. Picture this young man, recovering from his wounds, surrounded by a community that refused to let him go. A silent skeleton, buried for 6 millennia, has given us one of the most moving stories of survival and compassion from the ancient world. It's a powerful reminder that looking after each other is one of the oldest human traditions. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. What do you think this story tells us about our ancestors? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from our amazing past. We'll see you in the next video.